Greetings, code traders. It is Tuesday, November 20th, 2018, and I thought some of you might be interested. I have the results for code 2 versus code 3 for the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, in the oil futures market. I wanted to measure code 3 to see exactly what it would do with exact parameters to it, so that everybody would do the exact same thing. And here are the results. Okay, let's start off with today, which is Tuesday. Code 3 generated 6 trades. It did 450 ticks. There were 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 break even for 450 ticks today. All you would have had to have done is followed an exact trade system, and everybody would do the exact same thing. Let's back up to, it's code 2. Code 2, you would have hit anywhere between 100 and 200 ticks on your trade today, depending upon how many you would have gone for. I personally would have gone for 200. I would have gone for at least 150 and maybe 200. So I would have made 150 or 200 today using code 2 for the oil futures market, which is a beautiful, beautiful trade. But if you were using code 3 like a robot, without thinking and without any emotion, doing exactly as it says to do, to the letter, you would have made 450 ticks today. Let's go back to Monday. The code 3 generated 10 trades, good for 102 ticks. There were 6 wins, 2 losses, and 2 break-evens. You can see it was a fairly choppy day. The code 2, you would have made between 100 and 200 ticks, depending upon what you would have gone for. If you would have gone for 200, you would have gotten it. If you'd have gone for 150, you would have gotten it. If you'd gone for 100, you would have gotten it. So it all depends, again, on what you would have gone for. Sometimes it looks like, only 100 is good, and you only go for 100 and you only get 100. Sometimes it looks like 150 is good, and sometimes you don't get it. Or sometimes you do. Sometimes you go for 200 and sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. That's the problem with the code 2. You're not exactly sure what you can get. And so sometimes you settle for less so that you can get it. But whatever you'd have gotten, if you'd have went up to 200, you would have gotten the 200 on the code 2 for Monday. And you would have only gotten 102 ticks with the code 3. But here's the thing. Let me ask all of you code traders a question. Let me ask you a couple questions. What's the problem with code 1? What would you say? I would say the problem with code 1 is that, first of all, you are basically, most of the time, you're dealing 1-to-1 on your stop versus your profit, which is not ideal. So for instance, if you're going to make 10, 15 ticks, your stop is also perhaps the same or not that far away. So you're almost 1-to-1 there, which is not so good. Number 2, if you don't get the code 1 exactly right, chances are you have a good chance to take a loss. And if you're not not exactly sure what the code 1 is, and you take a loss, you don't know where to go to take a win. So you get confused. You get unsure of yourself. You get unsure what it is. And so this uncertainty does what? It creates you it takes away your ability to be able to go up in contracts. Because how can you go up in contracts if you're unsure whether you're going to win or not? This is the problem with the code 1. Now the code 1 is great. You just have to learn how to use it. But learning how to use it is the part where you're going to go through this problem of how to deal with it and how to know how to deal with it when it doesn't work, for instance, or how to profit from it when it does work. Fully profit from it instead of just taking a little bit from it by measuring the codes together. If you get code 1 entry and then another code 1 entry, another code 1 entry, and they're all in the same direction, you hold it for that bigger amount. But it takes a little bit of practice, right? It comes down to subjectivity. It all matters about how you play it, correct? Okay, so this is a problem with code 1. Code 2, what's the problem? Well, the same basic thing, although it's easier to do the code 2, and it's more profitable to do the code 2, far more profitable, obviously, and you get your stop and your profit level where you want it to be, which is really good. The stop's pretty small, profit is really high. That's really good. The charting tracks the code 2, so now you have a really good advantage now. You can use multiple different techniques on it, from the breakout technique to the what I'm going to be calling the offset entry, to the code 1 entry, to yeah, those are 3 good ones right there that you could use. But you could also get it wrong and take a loss. Like, for instance, you get it wrong on the code 1, you take a loss, you use an offset entry, then you take a win. So but first you got that loss, right? So, and that loss, you're uncertain about whether you're going to win or you're going to lose when you go in, right? This uncertainty also, even though the code 2 is much better than the code 1 with respect to this, still that uncertainty creates a situation where you don't know whether or not you can go up in contracts if you don't know for sure what the code 2 is. It again creates this uncertainty. True or not true? Now, if you're experienced like me, you know what to do with it and you can play it very easily, as you see me do lots and lots of times. But it's the inexperience that's going to get somebody. And that's where they're going to get into trouble, with the inexperience of knowing how to play the code 2. I've been teaching people now, I've taught thousands of people the code, and I know this is what people struggle with. Now, some people don't struggle with it and they get it right away, and that's great. But a lot of people do struggle with it. So here comes code 3. Here's the benefit to code 3. You do not need to worry about whether you win or whether you lose, because you're going to be able to see through the code 3 that, mathematically speaking, you are basically guaranteed to win. All you have to do is follow the exact rules. In other words, there is no subjectivity whatsoever. Period. None. Zero. Zilch. You are going to do exactly as the rules set forth to do, which are very easy, very simple. Anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. A 10-year-old could do it. No problem. And I'm very serious about that. Nobody's ever going to be able to come to me again and say, I can't do this. No, not possible. Anybody can do it. If you are 70 years old and you've never traded before, as long as you know how to work a computer and can read all this stuff, you can do it, no problem. Maybe you can't do it when you're 70, but most people can do it, okay? It's very, 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 very simple to use code 3. And code 3, even though you will take a loss here and there, or you'll take a break even here and there, which has a very specific rule to it. You get ahead 20 ticks, you place a break-even stop. Can you follow that rule? Then you can do it, no problem. It only broke even once on Tuesday, today, and it broke even twice on Monday. So it doesn't break that even very often. It does take an occasional loss. Losses are relatively small. See, the loss was, one was for 23 ticks, and the other one was for 17. So it took a 23 and a 17 tick loss. Neither one of them were back to back, so the drawdown was a maximum of 23 ticks drawdown. And it is the most amazing code, everyone. And here's the real kicker. It works the exact same on everything. Exact same mathematical parameters. Actually, I'm not sure about that yet. Let me take that back. I believe it's the same, but let me chart it out first before I say that. I think there might be a slight deviation with the E-mini S&P. I'm not sure though about that. I only took a preliminary look at it, and I did not analyze it like I need to in order to make that final determination. And so, but I doubt it. It should be the exact same code actually. And so everything works the same. Everything has a code 3. Code 3 is in a sense the real code, in that it's the real code in that it will work over and over and over again every time. You don't need to change or account for anything. So my code trading friends, how would you like to have made 450 ticks today simply by following a mathematical rule, set of rules? When I say mathematical, I just mean, you know, very, very simple. Not talking even 2 plus 2 math. I'm talking about prices and ticks, these type of things. And all you would have taken today was 6 trades. And just 1 loss. And you would have made 450 ticks today. I don't know about you guys, but I'm switching over to code 3. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's mind-boggling that what's really scares me is that was always there. I just never saw it. That really shocks me, actually. I am going to actually do a few more charts on some different instruments. One of them being the E-mini S&P, and we'll see how much it's worth on a daily basis as well. And I'll report back on that. Perhaps the E-mini Russell 2000 and the E-mini NASDAQ. A lot of people trade those as well. These are good instruments to trade, and many more. You can trade as many as you can handle. You probably only can handle maybe 2, 3 instruments at a time. But right now, I'm thinking that the code 3 is so ridiculously accurate that you could just raise your contracts up with that. You really don't even need anything else. You could just trade code 3 on the oil market, for instance, and do really super well. But I for curiosity and for mathematical and for educational reasons, I am going to analyze the other ones on the code 3 and see exactly what the math says. And see, like for instance, I was surprised today that the code 3 generated 450 ticks. I mean, I now have a way to follow it all the way down with no problem. No problem at all. And know exactly what to do. Go long or short, where to place a stop, etc. This is a gigantic breakthrough here. And so what I'm going to do is for the rest of this week, I'm going to put together the charts and analyze them, mark them. I will use these charts to teach from as well, to teach the code 3. And I'll give you all of my rules for it, which aren't very many. The main and really only rule is that the break-even stop, once it gets 20 ticks ahead, you place a break-even stop on it. But as you can see, the win percentage is so high that you really don't even need it. But I mathematically calculated so far in what I've done that the 20 stop is good. So I will be busy doing charts and analyzing the code 3 a little further to see if there's anything that I could do to increase its accuracy at all, or to increase its profit level, but I don't think that there is. I think that it needs to be just untouched exactly the way it is. It is the most easiest way right now. It is super high mathematics. It is unbelievable. I don't know how else to describe it. It is really that incredible. 450 ticks today. And I have been looking back at the charts, measuring it, and it is unbelievable how profitable it is. It's really unbelievable. So what I plan to do is I will shoot the course this weekend, this coming weekend. So I will be done with it after that. Take me 2 days to shoot it. And then I will teach everything, how to do the code 3. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to redo code 1 and code 2 and break a brand new course up for code 1 and code 2. All previous courses will be replaced with code 1, with a brand new course, code 1 and code 2, and I will teach how to use the code 1 in today's market with all the techniques that I use now, and how to use the code 2 for the oil market, how to maximize your profits using the code 2, different techniques that I developed. And then of course I have the code 3. Once the code 1 course is done, that will be resold again for 400. The code 2 course will be redone. It'll be sold for 600. There won't be any break between the code 1 and code 2. So you'll have to pay full price for each one. And then the code 3 right now I have I'm going to set it at either 800 or 1,000. If I set it at 800, it's going to be 800 for the code 3 plus 600 for the code 2 plus 400 for the code 1. You get a break for all of them. Because the code 1 and the code 2 definitely have their benefits and their usefulness. By knowing them, you can maximize your profits. But if you can do as well as you can do with the code 3, I don't see any reason to go any other way than the code 3, to be honest. But that's not true. I mean, I could use the code 2 and the code 1 with the code 3 and do really well. However, it would become subjective again. And as soon as it became subjective, I would start making mistakes. And as soon as I started making mistakes, my profits would get eaten up. And so instead of making 450 ticks, it would be a lot less. If I just stick to the code 3 parameters exactly, make 450 ticks today. I don't think you can argue, I don't think you can beat that kind of success with anything else. So it's just going to be a price structure. For those who can only afford the code 1, you buy the code 1. Code 1 is great, make a lot of money with it. If you can only afford to buy the code 1 and the code 2, And you can buy that for another 600. But if you can afford to buy the code 3 for either 800 or 1,000, I should sell it for 1,000, everybody. I mean, if you're going to make 450 ticks today, don't you think that's worth $1,000? 450 ticks times one contract is $4,500. Times two contract is $9,000. How would you like to just do one contract today and make $4,500 today? It's worth it to pay me $1,000 to learn this information. And if you don't have $1,000, well then buy the code 1 and do that. You can make good money with it. After that, buy the code 2. You can make really good money with the code 2. We've all been making money with the code 2 for so long. Could have made good money yesterday and today. At least 100 ticks yesterday, at least 100 ticks today. Could have made 200 ticks yesterday, 200 ticks today with the code 2. Isn't that good? Isn't that worth $600? It is. Now, for those of you who have the money and really want to seriously make some serious money, the code 3. 450 ticks today. The code 3 will keep you out of trouble. The code 3 would just keep you from making mistakes. That's the best thing I could say. The code 3 will keep you from making mistakes. How many times have you traded the code and you made mistakes? How would you like to trade the code now and make no mistakes? You personally will not make a mistake. Now the code may not work. It does work from time. It doesn't work from time to time. Does have some losses, but that won't be you making a mistake. It'll be the code not working. So it's nothing worse than you making a mistake and you saying, "Oh, I just wouldn't have made that move and reversed right there," or something like that. You know, you'd have won. You know, and you're thinking to yourself, "Why do I make these stupid mistakes?" That sort of thing. Code 3 will take care of that problem. Now that, my friends, is worth $1,000 for the code 3. For those of you who've already purchased code 1, code 2, got it for a good price, you are going to be able to get the code 3 for a good price. I'll give you 50% off. For those of you who haven't purchased and you are wanting to purchase and you can't afford the code 3 for 1,000, just get the code 1 and the code 2. You'll be able to make plenty of money with that. And then, when you can afford it very easily, get the code 3. And then you'll be able to take it to another level. That's all. Just be able to trade even better. That's all. Instead of only making 100, 200 ticks today, you'd make 450 ticks today. So, it's all good. One guy just recently said in the YouTube comment section he'd be happy with 30 ticks a day. Don't think like that. Don't put that chain on yourself and hold yourself back. You want to be able to think to yourself, what can you do? How many can you make? How much money can you make? Don't put that ball and chain on yourself and hold yourself back mentally. That's what everything around you wants to do, is hold you back mentally. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to work at this job and make $10 an hour, you know, because that's what everybody else does, you know. You know, all the other stuff people talk, oh, that's all scam, stuff like that, you know. People don't become millionaires trading the markets or anything like that. No, we all work at $10 an hour jobs, and that's just our fates and everything like that. But the whole thing is just like trying to hold you back, trying to put a mental restraint on your mind to hold you back and hold you down. And you just don't allow it, you know. This is a big world, big planet, 7 billion people on it, all kinds of different countries and economies and businesses and all kinds of different stuff. I know a girl who is a Thai. She's 21 years old, works at a hotel. She has her side business. She exports Thai products into China. Makes a lot of money. She says that the Chinese don't like to buy their own products. Isn't that funny? She says the Chinese don't like to buy their own products. So she says they like to buy other people's products, one of them being Thai. And so she makes money. She's 21 years old. You know, she speaks English, Thai, Chinese. You know, there's opportunity, there's things going on in the world, there's people making money in all different kinds of ways. There's millionaires all the time being made at the markets. People just don't talk about it and stuff. All you hear about is all these people who, you know, they lose at the market, and you don't want to be like that. You want to learn how to make money from the markets. The codes are unbelievably good way to make money at the markets. After you learn how to make money with these codes and you get bored like I have, you can come trade stocks with me. I'm going to open up a stock trading room, and stocks are a lot of fun. It's not really, okay, you can make 450 ticks today off of this. Yes, that's fantastic for making money, isn't it? But if you can do that every single day, it's just boring. It's no longer trading anymore. It's just boring. It's only good for making money. You know, if that's what you want to do trading for, is just to make money, then this is perfect. But if you'd like to have some fun, then you could come trade stocks with me, because that's a whole lot more fun than this. But you know what? For you, it'll be fun, because you have a lot to, well, the code 3 is simple. You don't really have that much to learn, but you have a lot to practice, a lot to look forward to, a lot to hit all these trades, make a bunch of money. After that, you can talk about whatever fun you want to talk. Maybe something else is fun for you, so you're going to do something else, not trade stocks. That's fine. But I'm a trader. I like to trade. It's fun for me, and I want to trade something that actually trades, not is controlled by a computer. I broke these codes. You use them, make a bunch of money from them. That's great. Okay, so I'll have the course done this weekend. I'll put it up. It'll be ready to go. You guys can start purchasing, learn the code 3. I'm going to come out trading the code 3, and I'm going to show it off. I'm going to trade it off on the oil. I'll trade it on the E-mini. Between those two, depending upon the day, I should be able to make anywhere from 300 ticks on a really bad day. Well, okay, maybe only 200 ticks on a really bad day, but on a really good day, maybe about 600 ticks or so, roughly. Maybe only 500, something like that. We'll find out. We'll find out together, because I'm going to do it, and then I will show it to you, and then all of you will see for yourselves the incredible, amazing power of code 3. Okay, my code trading friends, I will be back in another video very soon to either update you and tell you what's going on the rest of this week for the other instruments. That's what I'll do. I'll tell you what's going on for the other instruments, update you on the code 3, and this weekend I will get the videos done. And sometime next week, they will be offered for you to purchase and watch. These will be available in 1900, 2K, and I have them planned to be available in 1K as well. So you'll be able to have two different methods to watch them. They'll be high quality, and there'll be all one video, not multiple different videos, all indexed so that you can find what you're looking for very quickly. But for all of you that have learned the code 1 and code 2, you learned a lot of information, and I taught you a lot in that, all of that. This code 3, you're going to be amazed at how simple it is. It's extremely simple, and it is extremely effective. And I will get it done and get it into your hands ASAP, because I know a lot of you are interested in it and want to get it. So I will have it done ASAP, and I will update you again on how it's performing and when it's going to be available. I'll be back soon. Happy trading out there, guys. Talk to you soon.